when I first came to Vancouver.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because you can't help but have respect for him, but he's the weirdest fucking guy. Like, he's the only person on earth getting older and becoming a gangster, getting older and becoming like a bully again. You know, he's not a helpful dude. You know,
he's not the only one, but
yeah,
I see exactly what you're saying though. And if it wasn't you, there's no way I would recap a disaster battle. I forget about it.
Yeah. There's not that much to recap. Even actually, that was the least interesting battle of the 4.
I think people need to stop getting.
Hold on, let me try to plug in. Put you on speaker. Hopefully, we don't get any reverb and stuff like that. Hold on a second. Hold up. Talking.
Yeah.
I'll have to wear these headphones.
Just the regular, you'd like people to.
All right, can you hear you?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. All right, so, all right, good. That means that your talking's not bothering us. All right, good. So I don't gotta wear those stupid fucking headphones. What's good?
Good. I like wearing them because I feel I like as direct as possible without space between me and the sound thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, where should we start here?
You tell me, boy.
All right. Well, I think it'd probably be good to before we get into some specifics on things that people might not have any idea where we'd start anyway. I think it's kind of good to start on a little bit about why battle rap in general. And so I'll just say quickly, I knew nothing about battle rap until I met you. And one day I think we were waiting for a bus at Broadway and Commercial, and we started talking about battle rap, and you gave me 2 names to look up, and the words were Loaded Lux versus Calico. And I went home that night and put on Loaded Lux versus Calico. And it's not the same now, but there were periods of time over the last, whatever it's been, 8 years or something, that I watched a battle rap every day. And so you kind of brought me into this crazy world that I never thought, like, as somebody who was, into politics and into kind of straight, hardline things, I never thought I would get so deep into such a different world, and one that I thought was such an place of advanced thought and advanced art and work. So yeah, that's how I got into battle rap.
Oh man, that's dope. That's really dope. That's super dope. So what, you want me to tell you where I got battle rap from?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so back in the days, I can't really give you a time, man. I'd say it's definitely before '94 or something like that. There's this dude who used to go around filming all these artists in their own neighborhoods. They call them Smack. And basically what was going on there was a transition between paper magazines and online magazines. So he was one of the first people to basically do the online magazine kind of thing, like show up at Jadakiss' hood or his neighborhood and do an interview there. So he would have these DVDs, which would be online. They'd be like visual magazines. And at the end of each one, they'd have battles on. So, it was just like a glimpse into a world that nobody really got to see unless you were there. So he was one of the first people to actually capture these things. And he put out a lot of these DVDs, and then over time, I guess the battles became really popular. People would just get the DVDs just for the battles. And it really started to show actually when we made the transition from DVDs to YouTube, where you could see the numbers, the actual numbers of the interviews that Smack was doing compared to the numbers of the battles. And the battles were just going crazy, millions and millions and millions and millions. So slowly, we start to get more and more battles. So I guess a little bit of a culture developed. And, I think just as a rapper, I believe that these battle rappers are basically the best battle rappers the best rappers in the world. So as a lyricist and somebody who likes wordplay and all that stuff, writing, I mean, it's pretty intriguing what these guys do with their pen. So
like out of all of the rappers in the world, the top in the game are battling right now.
I think you have to be let's say MCing, right? Because you have to have a certain amount of proficiency to be able to. So for example, that battle that I put you onto, the Loaded Lux and Calico, those are rhymes they made just for that event, which I think is just like, usually when you write a rhyme as an artist or a rapper, you're reciting it over and over and over, and you're going to perform it over and over and over and over again. When these guys, they write what they're going to write, they're going to perform it that one time, which I think is just and live.
Yeah, and if you fucking stutter, they'll tear you the fuck apart. Yeah.
Well, okay, that's what we're going to talk about today, right? Because it used to be like that. I don't know if it's like that anymore, right? I think they're letting a lot of that the slipping and stumbling go, and now it's one of my real pet peeves, man. Like, practice your stuff and get it together before you come on stage, man. That's all I'm saying.
Before we go off too far from Loaded Lux and Calico, I just want to say what a strange way to start into battle rap that one was, because it's not a typical. It's a classic battle, but it's not a typical battle, and it's strange and controversial. Yeah.
I think because that battle really changed how battle rap is today. So even today, if I watch that, it still gives that feeling. It still has like a certain feeling to it, And I mean, it's like a point of history, I guess, for battle rap. That I don't know why I gave you that one. That one was kind of that's a heavy battle. But I figured that maybe because it did something for me, and if you're interested, it'll probably do something to you too.
Yeah. I wonder if it did something to the game. I wonder if that was the start of the, are you thinking what I'm thinking right now?
What do you mean? Okay.
That because that battle is epic based on a choke. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of controversy in that one. So we can review that battle one time too, if you want to.
Yep.
People still debate it. There's no debating for me really, but
I remember the first time I saw it, I thought Calico won. And then it took me a couple of, but I knew that was so not the opinion. And I watched it a few more times as I was getting more into battle rap. And then things started to change for me and the dynamics were different.
We're not talking about Lux now.
Okay.
We're not talking about Lux and Cal now, man. We'll do that
some other time. All right. So where are we at now? So that was actually a good you into battle rap and a good kind of history of battle rap as well, and how that came about.
Not just battle rap, pretty much the whole hip hop. I'll be that historian type of dude. That's just a part of it.
Very good. So, well, do you want to start in? Or do you want to go to what happened yesterday and the smack battles yesterday?
So what are we doing? We're just giving you my opinions on what happened?
Yeah, we'll do a rundown on it, and if we can get into some broader battle rap themes after, like we started based on that. Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna do a card recap. You know, this would be the first ever. What's the name of your podcast, Big Noah?
Well, I don't have a name for what you and I want to do. I think we can run with it and see what happens. But.
All right. Okay. All right. So yesterday, Smack and the URL staff had an event. It's called Smack Volume 6. And obviously, this is 6th installment in that little addition that they have going on there. So it was actually, I'd say overall, the card was, I'd say it's probably 6.5. You know, as I'm really tough on anything. So it was pretty good. It was pretty decent. So there were scheduled for 6 battles, and only 5 went down. The T-Top versus Easy the Block Captain battle didn't happen because T-Top had some personal issues. So that was a dub. They had to basically kill time for half an hour. You know, live stuff was kind of cool, but they just did. So the first battle was Ill Will versus Danny Myers. You familiar with Ill Will?
Not as much as Danny Myers, but a little, yeah.
Okay, so Ill Will versus Danny Myers. I'll say this. Ill Will has been talked about for a champion of the year for the past 2 years, and he's going on his 3rd that way. And he's obviously one of the tougher guys to beat. And Danny Myers is also a veteran and is also very, very tough to beat. So I thought it would obviously come down to who's more prepared. Generally, overall, I like Ill Will a little bit better than Danny Myers, but that's not taking away. I'm still pretty unbiased when it comes down to voting.
I like Danny Myers. I mean, I grew up watching Ninja Turtles, and his bars hit me that way, you know. So.
Danny Myers he's dope, man. He's really dope. But yesterday he lost. He definitely lost. I will say 3-0. I say he lost all 3 rounds. And I can tell you that I knew he was going to lose when I heard his interview. And this guy's sitting there talking about, yeah, it should be a good one. If I win, it'll be good. If he wins, it'll be good. Like, no, you don't talk that way before you go into battle. That's how I knew he was compromised. He wasn't going to win. So I got Ill Will 3-0. And that was, I'd say pretty easy, too. I'd say that was pretty easy. It looked to me like Danny Myers was preoccupied with other things.
Mm.
Okay, anyways, the next battle was Chilla Jones versus B-Dot. Chilla Jones versus B-Dot, they're saying that this was going to be the battle of the night, and it was supposed to determine unofficially the champion of the year, because Chilla Jones and B-Dot have been having outstanding years. They've been having classic battles. I will say this. I do prefer B-Dot's style more than Chilla Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But,
me too, always.
But I will say that Chilla Jones definitely got that motherfucker. He definitely got. I'll give it to him 2-1. I wouldn't say it's a 3-0. I'd say 2-1, but he definitely won. I think the problem with B-Dot for me is his delivery. He tends to rush through his bars, and I wish he would just slow it down and just learn how to work his words a little bit more. But
he battle raps like he's in a recording booth. It's like
Yeah, I agree, right? And that's the difference, right? It's the difference between standing in front of somebody and standing in front of a mic. Yeah. And he kind of looks like he's just kind of rapping. Like he's talking, but he did have a few stumbles. And for me, once you stumble, it's a dub. He didn't choke, but he did stumble. So,
well, especially if you stumble recording booth style, like if you're straight rapping, then it better be fucking.
Well, here's the thing: there's no punch-ins, right? When you're doing the battle thing, there's no okay. Let me start this over. If you seen, we can use the Lux Calico battle as a reference point, because they were both stumbling, right? But Lux actually choked, right? And for me, up until that point, a choke or stumble, like the battle's basically over. Like I don't even want to hear it. Basically, to me, that means you're just like it ruins the flow, and it just kind of, I don't know, but it's more accepted nowadays. So I've just learned to cope with it, even though it's annoying as hell. But I'll still let them basically get their bars off or whatever. But with that being said, B-Dot did stumble. I think he might have even choked in the third or the second. But I think that Chilla had better material anyways. Mm-hmm. I feel, but he also has like a turtle flow. Like he's kind of slow with his stuff so you can catch his schemes. But I will say he had better material. So I'll give that battle to Chilla Jones. 2-1. B-Dot did pretty good. Better luck next time. Mm-hmm. So the next battle was Jerry West versus Arsenal. So Jerry West is a newer guy. And Arsenal is like a big, bad veteran. Arsenal can be considered one of the faces of battle rap. He's hard to beat when he's on. And he was definitely on yesterday. So needless to say, Jerry West had some good, I will say that he didn't stumble or anything like that. He's very clean with his stuff, which I can appreciate. It's just when you see a legend going at it with somebody who's been around for a couple of years, you can tell who the legend is and who's the guy who's just been around a couple of years. So Arsenal didn't even really wild out on him. Like I've seen him wild out, but he still beat him. So I'll give that to Arsenal. I'll say 30, man. I'll say it's a 3. I'll say it's a 3-0. And Jerry West was clean. He was clean. Okay, you know what? I'll say 2-1. We'll say 2-1. But he definitely won. There's not even an edge. He definitely beat him. Clearly beat him. To me, my eyes. The fourth battle that went down was K-Shine versus your boy, Pat Stay. So, with that being said, I'll put out there that Pat Stay is one of my favorite rappers. Not just about rappers. He's one of my favorites.
Which is an interesting choice.
Because he's Canadian, right? I'm gonna give you that bias. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have that bias, but I do believe that his skill, when he's on, is uncompromised. I've never really seen anybody do the stuff that Pat Stay does. He's one of those people that they definitely have their own styles. Like I've never seen anybody even come close to doing anything that Pat Stay does when he's on.
Yeah. He brought his way in, and then lots of offshoots of what he did people can grab onto. Like he
you think? Like what
like he'll come with a scheme that is utterly Pat Stay. Like he came up, and then you'll see a million rappers take that on. Like he's one of those that you can take something from him and take it further.
I believe that can be true, but I still haven't seen anybody do it. I haven't seen anybody like do a joke like Pat Stay, like the way he does it. Mm-hmm. Or like even when he has a certain scheme of the way that he rhymes, that is signature Pat Stay. And I haven't seen anybody do that either. The way that he mixes that shit up, I've just never seen anybody that good. Like, yeah, he's a great rapper. Mm-hmm. With that being said, he got his ass whooped yesterday. Holy shit. Man, K-Shine put it on this motherfucker a certain way that, first of all, I don't know what the hell Pat Stay was thinking. I don't know what this dude was thinking. The way he showed up, he looked like this motherfucker looked like you ever seen like those like colors in the 80s and shit like that? Like the Mexicans look and stuff like that. Crazy man, like crazy. The dude looked crazy, like with the headband, off colors, and like the neon color stuff, and
like Jim Carrey on what's that show? What was it, In Living Color or something like that? Like those kind of schemes.
If we went to if we went to Venice Beach in 1983, he'd fit perfectly. 1983, 93, you're spot on.
Neon windbreakers.
But he kind of does that. He has that aura to put on wild stuff to kind of like just break tension, I guess, whatever. It's a tactic that he uses. But he didn't have his rhymes on. Yeah, he was stumbling in the first round and stuff like that. I think there was something about K-Shine that threw him off. And it's funny because a lot of people had Pat Stay winning.
My intuition, if you said K-Shine and Pat Stay, no matter what, my initial would have been Pat Stay.
You go for Pat Stay. Okay, so here's the reason why I was thinking like that too, right? But the reason why I said for sure he's going to lose is because K-Shine was the one that called him out.
Yeah. But that's interesting because still I would go, okay, like that. I would go, well, that takes a lot of fucking guts to call out Pat Stay because Pat Stay can do a lot with you calling him out.
Yeah, and I thought he would too, right? I thought he would too, but then at the same time I said, you know what? If K-Shine called him out, he has his number. Like for sure, he has his number.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you're either a fucking an idiot, or you really have something yet.
Yeah, you have to have something, and he had a little something. You know what I mean? I'll say it like this: if Pat Stay had his stuff together, it wouldn't have looked so one-sided, right? It definitely wouldn't have looked so one-sided. And I honestly, I believe. I was gonna tweet homeboy like, yo, you need to rematch that motherfucker. Like, yo, you can't take that ass whooping, and like, yo, don't get some get back. Like, yo, you know what I mean? But that being said, Shine was just too much for him, man. Shine was just too much for homeboy. So, and I called it 32.
Mm-hmm. Because like Pat Stay is a crowd guy.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him rap without a crowd of people laughing, you know? So what was the dynamic? But whereas, so you can get away with your entertainment more in a crowd.
There was people there in the background and they were reacting, probably like 25, 30 people in the background. They were far in the back. Sorry. But his material wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It comes down to that, and that stuff's got to land. And to me, I don't know. They need to make up their mind to what they're doing with that setting. Like, are you gonna have people there? Or are you not gonna have people there? It's gonna be like nobody in the room, or are we gonna have people in the room? Like, are we gonna have 20 people? Or are we gonna have 2,000 people? Like, yo, I understand the times, but I personally would have rather see nobody on the set. Right?
It's all of them have been kind of funny because it's like 5 guys are in masks and 20 are not. It's just like a weird setup. And it's like, I don't even care what way you go. It just goes some way.
I'm looking at the face-off. I'm like, yo, this is why you guys' numbers are going up. Nobody's wearing a mask. You guys are passing blunts. Like, what's up with you guys, man? Like, yo. But anyways, it's not for me to say, right? It's not for me to say, but hey, I mean.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think that Pat Stay, man, I'm a little disappointed. I thought he would at least had a better showing. I thought it would have been at least a better fight.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping for a classic, but you can't win them all, man. Right? Yeah. I was rooting for you, bro. I was rooting for you. But you can't win them all, man. So he had to. He beat Tay-Rock and he beat Shotgun Suge big on URL already. So you know you're gonna run into something. You're not gonna win every one.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just a moment, you know, like it could, and another moment could have been another way if he was on his shit.
I hear you. I will say this though, K-Shine has not been beaten in 3 years, so that was a dangerous dude to step in front of. And it's not even funny what he's been doing. It's arguably they're arguing that he hasn't lost a round, much less a match. So that goes to show you, he's been on a tear. But needless to say, K-Shine won 3-0. That's a 30, easy. So the last battle was Goods versus Geechee Gotti. And, okay, so my whole thing with, I'll say this. I think that Goods won. I'm more of a Geechee Gotti fan. But at the same time, I'm not really a Goods fan. Here's my thing. The reason why I don't really particularly like Goods that much, he's really clean with his stuff, but I've seen this dude lose really bad to Oliver Dark, but he swears he won. Yo,
I hate when people do that shit, man. That's a no-go for me. When it's a clear loss and you're like, I fucking took that shit. No.
Yo, Hollow whooped this motherfucker 3 rounds straight, badly. It got so bad that dude threw a bottle of Hennessy in the crowd because he got upset at what somebody said for heckling him. Something like that. I don't know. But ever since that, I've always said to myself, yo, this guy can't even be true to himself. So I can't, like, I seen this dude get whooped. Like, if you watch that battle, it's kind of a waste of time. It's okay, but Hollow is just in rare form in that one, man. He whooped them badly, but Good swears he won, so. But anyways, yesterday, I will say, again, it was more one of those cases where the same thing with Arsenal and Jerry West. It's the same thing with Ichigari and Goods. Goods just has a veteran aura about him and the way that he puts his stuff together that it's going to be hard for somebody like Ichigari to beat. But I will say this too. Goods has this thing about, he has a way of battling whoever is supposed to be the hottest at that time. He'll jump out for like a year and then he'll battle whoever's supposed to be the hottest. But at the same time, a lot of these people that are supposed to be the hottest at that time are newer guys. They're newer they haven't been around as long as he has.
Geechee.
So, like,
he's 4 years or something in. Right?
New guy compared to Goods. My thing is, and Surf does it too. Sue Surf does that too. He likes to jump out for a while and then he comes back and takes whoever's hottest. My thing is, you should be beating those guys, right? So for Goods Goods was the headline. Goods and Ichigari was the headline. In my eyes, somebody like Goods is supposed to beat Geechee. You're not supposed to make somebody like, and Geechee's really good. Don't get it twisted. Mm-hmm. He had Champion of the Year twice, 2 years in a row.
Yeah. So
there's something to be said for his skill. He's really good, but there's no way somebody like Goods should be losing to Ichigari. And with that being said, he did win the battle. He won the battle. So I can't, I think what happened is he mostly just gave him some grown man talk, basically told him that there's not much that you could tell me that I haven't heard already. Look at my watch kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that Goods is on. Yeah. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Overall, like I said, the event was pretty good. There was one battle taken away. A few people were stumbling. And Pat, stumbled big time.
That would have been a bummer for a lot of fans. Yeah, that would have been heavily.
I mean, I was one of them, right? I was like, and then I kind of knew that Pat wasn't ready either because he wasn't tweeting. There's zero promo from this guy. So, I mean, you can kind of tell, right? When people are not going to be ready for it. With that being said, the whole event, I gave it a 6.5, maybe out of 10. Wasn't too bad for a free event. You just got to get the app, the caffeine app. Yeah. And it was pretty good. It's pretty good. Yep. Pretty decent.
Yeah. Well, I'll do a short on my today's KOTD on Twitch. Mm-hmm. I'll only do 2 of the battles because those are the ones I paid most attention to. The first was Marv 1 versus Times.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. Hold on. So I did see the one before though.
Okay.
Who was it in there?
Gage and
no, it wasn't Gage. Gage was the first one, I think, right?
Yeah, Gage and Joey.
I didn't see that one. So the next one was what's his name?
Reverse Live. And
the guy won. The other dude won. I can't remember his name. But I actually think that Reverse Live won. I think he actually won. I think he outbarred him. But anyways. Okay, continue.
So Marv 1 versus Times. Both of them were fucking fire. That was a great battle. That was not the one we were expecting, I think, to be the hot one, but it definitely was. Times came really hard at all 3 rounds. Marv was Marv, and he was classic Marv. Marv had a bit of a choke in the second round, but his first round was just heavy. And
Who won the
so,
first round?
sorry?
Who won the first round?
Marv got the first round, in my opinion. I gave Times the second round, and Marv the third round again. Now, realistically, that battle could have gone either way. Times was fucking good. He was more consistent. But just the way Marv is the father of everything, and just dad talks you down in that way, and he's got that style. Like, he's a fucking G, and you'd give him a big hug at the same time. So it was really tough, and he was in that position. Like, they're both from Detroit, and Marv is the big dog between them by far, and he came with those bars, and that did basically the trick. I think he deserved that.
Yeah.
And then Diz and Saint, and these guys went crazy on each other, but it was unfortunate, but wasn't nearly the quality of the battle before it. Diz is on his Diz thing of being extra aggressive, extra shitty, even with guys who are newer in the scene. And it's not pleasant to watch, especially because you know how good he is. And when he says how much he's done for battle rap, all of it's true. He's done a lot of work. He's had some of the best battles, the greatest classics, but he's fucking hard to watch, and it's getting worse. Like, he's the only, I think we talked about this before, it's like, he's the only guy that, as an adult, decided to join a gang. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the kind of dude he is. And
Allegedly.
yeah, well, as far as, whatever that is. Anyway, what do you call it? The public or the fans voted, because that's how the voting was done on these things, and 75% in favor of Saint, 25% in favor of Diz, which I think people were expecting, because Diz is hated right now in those circles. Number one for how he got to this point in the KOTD $50,000 Grand Prix, which I missed that. You saw that, but I've heard about it in every battle since. So I was glad Saint won that shit, and it's gonna go Saint and Marv next Sunday for 50 G's, and that'll be a good battle. Not the way I'm sure KOTD was hoping to spend their money, but I'm happy anyway. Now, yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. All right. We'll take it back to the Marv 1 battle here. So when Marv choked, I gotta say, like, when they choke and stuff like that and they stumble, the battle's a dub for me. Like, it's pretty much over for me, right? I'll still continue to listen, but I'm still left with that thing that it's pretty much done for me. So I liked Marv's material, but I think Time was spitting better though. I think Time was spitting better. I think that because of the type of material that Time had, it wasn't the right setting for that stuff. You know what I mean? Whereas Marv had more of an approach of "I'm talking to you" type of thing.
There was a bit of the "I know I'm the little dog and you big dog aren't doing your shit." Like, they did have that play. That's why I think round 2 was definitely Times. Like, he killed that one.
Well, Times to me came in with the attitude of, "Look, I'm here to kill you" kind of thing, and Marv was like, "Yo, I'm here to talk to you" type of thing. You know what I mean?
It's always hard to beat that. That's why Pat Stay wins too, because it's like I'm not even like I would kill you. Why would I kill you? This isn't. Yeah,
That's definitely part of the arsenal with that guy for sure, right? Because Pat has so many tools, right? That's just one thing that he could do to just fuck your whole life up, or at least your day. You know what I mean? At least your day, like you'll be walking around like, oh my gosh, this dude just tell me, man. Like, but Marv had a better approach. My thing is that choke, right?
Yeah.
That and times, even though his material wasn't, I wouldn't say as good to my taste as much as Marv's was, I do think he gave a better performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the judges got that one wrong. I think, like I said, when you choke or you stumble, for me, it's a dub. So I think that time won that battle. So again, it leads me to believe, at least I thought that maybe there was some kind of conspiracy going on, which brings us to the next battle, because the whole conspiracy revolves around this disaster.
Yeah.
Right? So just a little bit of a back thing. I mean, I seen the battle with Disaster versus Frack, and that was the battle that made me stop watching the whole tournament.
And that was the first event, or that was the first event of this tournament. Yeah.
So imagine I didn't see any of this tournament. I seen the last one with Cyboy, the Family Man Hayes, and Disaster. I seen that battle, and I think that Diz lost that battle too. So that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. But Diz has a way of delivering his rhymes that at one point was very unpredictable, which it isn't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not anymore. It's like, have you ever seen the Charlie Clips and Hollow the Dawn battle?
Ages ago, yeah.
Okay. So Hollow the Dawn did this thing with Charlie where he kind of disarmed his whole flow, basically. So he basically just exposed the fact that he has 4-bar setups, right? And he just kind of imitated them and made fun of him while he did it, and he did it really, really well. So it's kind of like this with Disaster, except nobody's ever exposed him like that. They just kind of made fun of him in the way he raps and stuff like that, but and they kind of do it too. Like they say he raps with a certain amount of aggression, but nobody's really been able to do that to Diz like Hollow did that to Charlie, right? So that's how he's been able to get as far as he's gotten.
Yeah.
With the same kind of flow, which is good, but like I said, we're kind of hip to it now. You know what I mean? Like if you watch his battle today and you watch the battle versus DNA, he's using the same style, but the Disaster versus DNA is a way more dangerous Disaster.
Yeah. This Disaster looks tired and like he smokes too much, and he's trying to pull the same shit, and it's like, actually, if you'd bring it down a bit, you'd run at a better temperature, you know?
I don't think he can bring it down, right? I think he's married to this style now, right? It's cheaper to keep her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not letting that one go. So
that's too bad. Yeah.
It's part of branding, I think, right? That whole, like, it's part of his branding. But he has some really dope styles, though. Like, he has some, like, I'm a nerd. So when he starts talking about science and stuff like that,
I love that shit too.
I'm on top of that shit. Like, I like that shit. But to me, he doesn't even go far enough with it, which makes me think he's a pseudoscientist. You know what I mean? Like, he'll just say part of something that sounds really cool, but he doesn't really give you the depth of this shit.
Yeah.
But even that is a skill. It's an art. So you can't really expect everybody to give you what you want. Okay, so with that being said, I think that, to be quite honest with you, I'll be completely honest with you. This is what I didn't want to. I know, because I just got to keep it a buck, right? I think Diz won that battle.
It wasn't a 25-75 deal anyway. Diz did much better than 25%. Yeah.
I think that Sane had really good bars. like he has some really insane shit in there actually. But again, his delivery, it's the same thing I was saying with the Goods and the Geechee and the Arsenal and the Jerry West.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, him and Diz, even though Diz messed up, Saint was stumbling all over the place. So I'll throw the round away where Diz had choked or stumbled or whatever he did there. But Saint was stumbling all through all three almost to me.
Yeah, they're very different guys. Like for Saint, you have to be like, if you want to pay attention and get a good, you have to really be in it. Whereas Disaster, it just comes to you and you kind of relax with it. Like they're just very different approaches. Yeah. It wouldn't have been, I would never put that battle, nobody would put that battle together outside of a Grand Prix like that.
I've seen Saint perform before, or just like on YouTube or whatever. And his style is not really for me. His style is like a lot of these guys, the newer guys, where they don't really know how to perform the bars. They're just kind of just rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to take anything away from the dude. B-Dot kind of has the same thing too. They're just kind of rapping. He's kind of battling, but you have to know when to like let your stuff land.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just keep going. You have to know when your stuff lands and when to just easy. It's like it's really an art, and it's so what I mean. Like it's not an easy thing to do. So I'm not trying to take anything away from these guys. You have to be on a certain level to get there anyways.
Yeah.
It's like saying somebody in the NBA sucks. Like even if you sit on the bench, you cannot suck. You're in the NBA, right? So like with that being said, I'd say I'd have to give the battle to Disaster, man. As much as I don't like to admit it. Straight up, man. I just got to be fair, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the judges got the decisions wrong all across the board today. Like I don't know what these guys are looking for, but I think that's where they're just letting. Okay, so for example, I guess you didn't see the Murder Mook and Tay-Rock.
No.
Okay. Murder Mook is somebody I've never seen even like stutter a word once. Like I've never seen it. You know what I mean? Lux will do that. Lux will stumble too. But there's something to be said for like a clean performance, especially on this level now, right? And I feel like there's too much of this stumbling stuff going on that people are getting the idea that you could just come in and just mess your words up as long as you get through your stuff, then it's good. Like, no. Dude, as soon as you mess up, the next person jumps in. That's how the battle goes.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you even stutter a word, like you act like you don't even know what you're going to say, somebody's jumping in there.
Well, it would be the same like in the UFC. If you do that twice, they're gonna be talking about you.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think so. And I don't know. I think we've gotten to the point where we just love battling so much that we're letting all kinds of shit slide,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're talking about, Lux. Everybody let Lux go. That was the first time we ever, like in the battle rap community, it's the first time we ever let a choke go. Like a choke? Stumble is one thing. You seen, next time we watch that thing, when you see Calico, how many times he stumbled, like two smallest stumbles.
Mm-hmm.
The whole crowd goes crazy. They're like, oh my gosh, like that's the way it should be. You should have your shit together, right? My opinion, personally. So they say that it's going to be Marv 1 and Saint for the finals. Who you got?
Who do I have? Who I want to win because they they both kind of deserve it for me in different ways. Like Marv's been in the game for a long time and he's fucking dope. But he's also done a lot of like half-assed and mediocre battles and gets by on a lot of shady clout and things like that. But I also like him. I like him a lot. But it's like, who would $50,000 go to and be good now that, especially since KOTD botched the whole thing from the beginning, who the money should go to, since it was supposed to go to Diz, it should probably go to Saint.
Wow.
Like if Saint puts, but it's like Marv, I for the same reasons I think you were right about Saint and Diz. Saint doesn't have that presence, and then so Marv one who would still come in like a father on Diz is going to come on Saint. So yeah, I don't think it's going to go that way. I think Marv's probably got it.
Yeah, I think that if, let's just say that it was Diz versus Marv 1, which is why I was thinking it was some kind of conspiracy, because Marv had choked a couple times too on the way up, and then Diz had choked all the way up, so that's like they're letting them slide to meet at the end, is what I was thinking. But then with Diz losing today, that just doesn't make any sense, right? But well, I think, no, go ahead.
But the linchpin, though, was Sharon and Marv.
I wish,
because that was a close battle, but I agreed. Like it was like and I don't know. They could have done that either way if they wanted to put Diz and Sharon together. They could have done it there, but it was that close, in my opinion. But that was the linchpin. So it's like, okay, after Sharon is out, and then KOTD is probably going, fine, we made our money already on this. We can make entirely other money on that next month. So it's like, it's it kind of made sense in that way. But that for me was the linchpin. That is like, it didn't matter. Disaster didn't matter anymore, because it's like, who do you want to see with him at the end?
I was pulling for Sharon too, man. But again, Sharon has some things to me he's got to work on too. Like some of these guys, I wish I could just talk to them about what the fuck it is that they're doing that's fucking them up. You know what I mean? Like Sharon just has a certain awkwardness to him. Until he gets rid of that, he's just like.
Well, Pat pulled his number when he said, like, you're cool, you're fine. All the extra shit is too much. Like, you're not a G, man. And it's true. And it's like, if you just chill and like be that guy that, you grew up on.
I don't even think that's it. To me, again, it's his delivery. Like the way that he delivers his hand gestures are just awkward to me. Like when he's spitting, it just looks kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, and it's funny because the shit that he's saying is fire. He's got real bars, and he's like one of the best battle rappers on the planet.
He's got like one of the least tamed minds. Like he can grab shit from further out. Yeah.
Talking about, I want to see him versus Hollow. Because, and unlimited rounds too. Because then we're talking about freestyles then, right? I want to see who could freestyle better. To me, Sharon's probably one of the best. Top 3 freestylers in battle rap for sure.
Yep.
I don't even think Diz can mess with him.
No, not like as far as quality of content that Sharon can put out like that. Yeah.
I doubt it. But with this battle here, I'd say, like I said, if Marv was to battle Diz, I still think with 2 clean performances and them at their best, that Marv would probably beat Diz, because Diz is kind of doing the same thing, whereas Marv has a way of talking to you. You know what I mean? To me, his best work is when he's with Quest McCody. Those two are just like, in a 2-on-2, they're just like, and to me, that's where Marv can really be Marv to me. You know what I mean? That's where like the jokes come out, but then you get the real talk.
Yeah.
But I think that Marv's gonna take this, man. It's really up for him to lose, because Saint is still growing. He still needs to put some stuff together in terms of his total package. But he's got a promising future, man. Like he's got some bars, man. He's got a promising future. But if he does win, I can't see him winning, to be honest with you. I can't see Saint. It's really up to Marv 1 to lose, really.
Yeah.
You know? Really for Marv 1 to lose. Like I noticed some stuff when he was rapping against it. Did you see all the vet shit that Diz was doing to him? Like all the little vet stuff, like looking in his eyes and stuff like that, and looking away. bumping him, and he was like doing his little.
Well,
every time.
and talking whilst that shit drives me crazy, dude. You are battle rap, and you are fucking it up right now. And it's like, so you try to get so much attention, you try to get so much clout, and then you get our attention, and it's like, that's not what we want to see. Like against, like, it's obvious, Saint. Like, who are you pretending to bully? Like, or frack? Like with the paper? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
The thing, I think that when he looked at Saint and he seen that Saint was not scared, it was just a different battle from there. You know what I mean? It definitely, I seen it right in the first round too. But then he had these little, like, he's a vet. So I figured, he figured after the first round he was down, right? So when Saint started going in the second, if you ever get to see that battle again, you'll see what I'm talking about. These vets, they got these little tricks that they do, man. These little nudges and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or just like,
that was one good thing you said, kind of thing. Yeah, they try to fuck you up in your rounds.
If you even stumble the slightest, they'll kind of do one of those things, kind of to point it out. You know what I mean? And that means that he noticed that you noticed that he noticed that you fucked up. You know what I mean? So that kind of throws you off. It's like, oh, you know, and then you try to go back into your stuff again. That's kind of where all the stumbles were coming from Saint today, right? So, and like with that being said, that's some veteran stuff. So you actually have to kind of learn to get past that shit, right? This has been in the exact same position as him. You know what I mean? The exact same position. Like the dude facing the bigger dude that hasn't been through the ropes. There's just his veteran, but even that didn't really save him today, because I think people now are more blinded by the acrobatics of words and stuff like that. It's intriguing, right? But as a lyricist, you can't really get too much shit past me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's just rap. Even though he's using the same style, I feel like he was cleaner. Even though he did have the stumble, he still was cleaner to me than Saint. Saint was kind of all over the place. He put his stuff together. He got it together, but just wasn't clean.
Well, and I think maybe he got a bit caught in Disaster's energy, because he was always losing his breath. And if you just took a bit more space, took it a bit slower, because that's Diz. He is like, and it's like, but then if you watch, and a lot of people get caught in Disaster style. Two people who didn't are like Swave Seva and Iron Solomon or something like that. They don't. It's like, I know you. I'm not following your lead.
Cyborg did the same thing too. Cyborg did the same thing, and so did Frack actually. Frack did the same thing. Frack beat that dude 3-zip too. It wasn't even close to me.
All I saw was the recap, the 30-second recap of that battle, and I in one clip over the paper I knew Frack won, because it was just like that move was a 3-0 right there. Yeah, you won.
Definitely won that one, but
and Frack's good. And he does music. He does everything. Like he's a good rapper, a good artist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yep. So I have Marv 1. I'll say Marv 1 over Saint. It's gonna take a lot for Saint to convince me that he beat Marv 1. I'll say that much.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna have to come, like, all the bouncing around and stuff. That ain't gonna. Marv will just pick that apart. It's really up for Marv 1 to lose this $50,000.
Yep. Well, did you want to talk a bit more about where the whole acceptability of the choke in battle rap, and why the best artists are playing loose with some of the rules and things like that, or we're done with that one for now?
I think actually that is another topic for another day.
Sure. The other I've just been thinking about topics for other days. Like, I think we should do a top 10 day, and because that's one by itself. I think battle rap's influence in other areas of culture, like, is a topic for a day. Yeah, I think there's lots of good things to do.
Yeah. So we can do another recap at some point.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily have to do some live ones, like the live ones and new ones. I like some of the older ones. We can go back and take a look at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We'll try to find some ones you and I maybe have disagreements over and talk about those. Yeah.
Yep. We talk about the whack ones that you like and the dope ones that
We'll talk about how I'm convinced Ilmac beat Conceited. That would be a good one.
Don't Mac be conceited.
Yeah. That's a crazy one. I don't even understand my decision on that one, but I'll go back and take a look.
Some partialism right there, man. That's some bias right there.
There might be. He's definitely in my top ranks. Ilmac is. Yeah.
He beat Big K though.
Yeah. That was a good battle too. K was really good that battle. The only reason Mac won was that one scheme at the end.
I'm saying, like, there's some. So again, go back to the Lux Cal battle, right? Any other night, right? Any other night, anybody step in front of Cal with those lyrics would have died a horrible death. That's what I'm trying to say. Those are some of the best, like, battle lyrics I've heard, period, coming from Cal that night. Even with his stumbles. Anybody else standing in front of that would have died a horrible death. But Lux had the cheat code, man. He had the zip up to here and he just jumped out of the body bag, yo.
Yeah.
He jumped out of that motherfucker.
Yeah. And he had so much. He had more presence during his choke than most rappers do at their best points. You know, it's like he's undeniable. Like he's an art. He's a presence. Yeah.
Movie. That whole thing was just a movie. That whole Summer Madness 2 was just a movie. We can actually go and look at some of those battles at some point too. That'd be good. Give us some content also.
Good.
I'm up for that too, actually. But I think a lot of people got these battles called wrong anyway. So.
Yeah, I think so too. A lot of strange things going on in some old battles. Anyway, should we call it for today and do another one?
For sure. So in conclusion, all the judges got it wrong today, for me, in my opinion. Diz, even though I'm not a big Diz fan at all, Diz won that battle, and Time, to me, did beat Marv 1. So don't make me a judge, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, well, you know, looking back, I have to agree with you. I think there's good reason to agree with you. Even looking forward to the next battle, your prediction or what you said would have been a better ending.
Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens.
All right. Really good to see you. Really good to speak with you again, Joose.
You too. Salute.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too, bud. Peace.